Okay, so why did I write a book saying that fundamentalist Islam is more adaptable in modern politics than fundamentalist anything else would be? I think a lot of it has to do with the compatibility of certain values you find in the Islamic heritage with modern values. Notably, what I'm thinking of is the idea of equality, which is something that is quite well entrenched in the early Islamic tradition. You know, of course, I mean, out of that you got some of the most stratified societies on the planet, but I mean, it's there in the heritage it's written in, and equality is a very attractive value in the modern context. So that there's kind of a process whereby you look at the West and you see that equality is a big value. Then you look at your own heritage and you see, aha, we had it already, we got it there. So that you manage to combine the attractiveness of the Western value with it being indigenous, it being your very own. And I think this is something that I think Islamic fundamentalism can do in certain respects. That's one. Another is what you might call limited government. That's not a very appropriate term, but let me give you an example. The Prophet dies in 632, and then after a certain amount of politics that takes place overnight, we have his successor in place. And the next morning in the mosque, he makes a speech to the assembled Muslims. And at one point he says, how does it go now? Let me think. Yeah, if I do right, then help me. And if I do wrong, then put me right. In other words, what the Caliph is doing there is recognizing the right, indeed the duty of his subjects to judge his conduct and act accordingly. Now that's not exactly democracy, but it does have a real resonance with the ideas of good government that we have at the present day. So I think there are certain things in the Islamic tradition that work, so to speak, in political activity and discourse at the present day. And these are things that are right back at the beginning of the Islamic tradition, and fundamentalism says, let's go back to the beginning. So by doing fundamentalism, you focus particularly on those things in the early heritage. It was, by contrast, and if say you're to do Hindu fundamentalism, you're going to come up against an extremely inegalitarian conception of the social system, that there's basically no getting around. Ideas of Hindu monarchy, which are very much part of the heritage, don't have any kind of limited government dimension to them. If you were to try a real Hindu fundamentalism, it just wouldn't get too many takers at the present day.